Ryan had never seen a palace like this before. Tall crystal towers stretched into the sky, shining under two suns. The walls sparkled like they were made of glass and ice, and every step inside echoed softly like music. He tried not to stare too much. He was just a technician, a human sent from Earth to help fix the alien queen's broken communication system. He walked behind two tall alien guards. Their armor looked like silver leaves, and they moved without making a sound. Boots felt loud and clumsy compared to them. He held a small bag with tools and his personal device, an old human phone. He always carried. They entered a long hallway filled with soft lights and floating symbols on the walls. Everything looked peaceful, but Ryan felt nervous. He had heard stories. The alien queen was powerful, wise, and cold. She ruled her empire with calm strength and rarely spoke to anyone outside her own kind. Finally, the guards stopped in front of a large door. One of them pressed a glowing button. The door slid open without a sound. Ryan took a deep breath and walked in. The room inside was wide and round, with tall windows showing the stars. At the center stood the queen. Queen Elari was tall, her skin a pale silver blue that shimmered slightly when she moved. Her eyes were deep violet, and her long hair floated slightly like it had a life of its own. She wore a long dress that looked like it was woven from moonlight. She turned and looked at Ryan. "You are the human they sent?" "Yes, Your Majesty," Ryan said, bowing his head quickly. "I'm here to fix the palace's main communication grid." "Good," she said softly. Her voice was smooth and calm, but it felt like it carried power. "Follow me." She walked toward a side room. Ryan quickly followed. He tried to focus, but everything about her presence felt different. Not just alien, but something more. Like she carried the weight of the galaxy on her shoulders. Inside the room, strange glowing cables ran along the floor and ceiling. A large console sat in the middle, was flickering with broken signals and flashing lights. Ryan dropped to one knee and opened his bag. "I'll begin now." The queen sat nearby, silent. Ryan worked fast, connecting his tools to the system, using his translator device to understand the alien code. Hours passed. The room stayed quiet, except for the soft hum of machines, as he waited for one system to reboot. Ryan took a short break. He pulled out his phone to check the time. The screen lit up, and he smiled. He had taken a photo earlier by accident, using the reflective crystal window near the hallway. The queen had been standing near it, talking to her guards, and somehow the camera had picked up her image. It wasn't clear, but the light made her look almost magical. He stared at it for a second, then quickly closed the screen. He didn't mean to keep it, he just hadn't deleted it yet. "What was that?" a voice asked behind him. Ryan jumped. The queen had stood up and walked closer. Her eyes were on the device in his hand. "Oh, this. It's just my phone," he said nervously. "I saw something on the screen," she said, stepping even closer. "May I see it?" Ryan hesitated. He didn't want to be rude, but this felt like trouble. Still, he handed it to her, the screen still unlocked. The queen took it gently. Her fingers moved over the screen, learning the feel of it. Then her eyes locked on the photo. She blinked, stared. "Is that me?" she asked, her voice quiet. Ryan felt his heart stop. I didn't mean to." I was adjusting my translator. And it just took the photo by itself. She kept staring, captured my image without asking. "Yes, and I'm sorry," Ryan said quickly. "I'll delete it now. Please don't be angry." But she didn't look angry. She looked surprised. "This is very clear," she whispered. "We do not take images like this. On Earth, people take photos all the time," Ryan said carefully. "It helps us remember moments, faces, things we care about." The queen slowly sat down, still looking at the picture. "We only record official history, do not keep moments like this." For a long time, neither of them spoke. The stars outside the windows moved slowly. "Do you have others?" she asked suddenly. "Others. Photos of your world, of your people." Ryan nodded slowly. "Yes. Would you like to see?" She handed the phone back. Ryan opened his gallery. He showed her pictures of green forests, smiling families, sunsets over oceans, and his own little home on a quiet hill. The queen leaned closer, her eyes filled with something new. Not power, not command, but wonder. Your world is warm, she said. Ryan smiled. Sometimes too warm, but yes. Then she looked at her own picture again. This is how you saw me? Ryan paused, then nodded. Yes. The queen turned away for a moment, silent. The picture, Ryan asked, surprised. Yes, she said, but only you. No others must see it. I understand. She had turned back to him, and for the first time since he arrived, she smiled. It was small, but it changed everything. Ryan didn't know what to think after that moment. The queen had smiled at him. Not in a royal or formal way, but something soft, something real. It stayed in his mind like a song he couldn't forget. He returned to his guest quarters later. That night, the room was large and filled with soft lights and moving patterns on the walls. Alien comfort was different from Earth's, but still peaceful. He sat on the edge of the strange bed, holding his phone in both hands. The queen's image was still on the screen. She looked calm, glowing in the crystal light. He didn't delete the picture. The next morning, a servant arrived. The alien woman bowed and spoke in a careful tone. Queen Alari wishes to see you again. Please come. Ryan blinked. He wasn't expecting to meet her so soon now. Yes, please follow me. He quickly put on his clean clothes and followed. The servant through the palace halls. The guards this time didn't watch him so closely. Maybe word had spread already. Or maybe something else had changed. Inside the queen's chamber, Ilari was sitting near a table made of floating glass. A large window behind her showed a glowing planet spinning slowly in the distance. She looked up and nodded. Come sit. Ryan sat carefully across from her. Good morning, Your Majesty. Call me Ilari, she said, only in private. Blinked. Okay. She placed a smooth stone on the table. It lit up, showing old star maps and language files. I wish to learn more about your kind. Your people. Your customs. You want me to teach you? He asked. Yes, she said. And in return, I will tell you about mine. Ryan smiled. Deal. And so, the strange lessons began. Every day, for hours, Ryan sat with the queen. He showed her human festivals, music, games, and pictures from his world. She listened with deep focus. She asked questions about human emotions, family, friendships, and memories. She seemed fascinated by the way humans captured feelings in images. She especially liked the simple pictures. A laughing child. A man holding flowers. An old couple sitting under the sunset. Your people feel deeply, she said once. We have forgotten how to do that. Feelings are part of life, Ryan said. Without them, things become empty. She nodded, but her face looked sad. When it was her turn, Ellery showed Ryan ancient carvings and moving light records. She told him about the time when her people first reached the stars. Back then, they were full of hope and wonder. But over time, they focused too much on control and order. They stopped sharing stories. They stopped smiling. I have never smiled in front of my council, she admitted one day. Ryan was surprised. But you smiled at me, yes, she said, looking away. I did not plan to. Soon, things began to change in the palace. Servants whispered in the corners. Guards started giving Ryan respectful nods. The queen kept calling for him not as a visitor, but as someone she trusted. But not everyone was happy. One morning, Ryan walked through the garden hall. A tall, alien elder blocked his path. The elder wore dark robes with gold symbols, and his voice was cold. You should not be here so often, the elder said. Ryan stood still. I was invited. We know, and we watch, the elder said. Your presence brings confusion. The queen forgets her duties. I'm just helping, Ryan said quietly. Helping her forget who she is, the elder replied. Ah, queen. Must not grow soft? He walked away without another word. Ryan felt uneasy after that. Maybe he was causing trouble without knowing it. Maybe the queen was in danger because of him. But when he met Ilari again, she looked calm. "They're talking about me," Ryan said. "Yes," she replied. "I know. Should I stop coming? Do you want to?" she asked, her eyes steady. "No." "Then don't," she said. He nodded later that day. She asked for something strange. "Take a picture," she said, standing by a tree made of glowing leaves. "Of what?" "Me," she answered. Ryan raised the phone slowly. "Okay, smile." Just as I am." He took the picture. She didn't smile, but her eyes looked softer than before. She stepped forward and looked at the screen. "Keep it," she said. "You sure?" "Yes," she said. "But take one more." She moved to a garden. Pathan stood under a beam of soft light. This time, she looked straight into the camera, and just as he tapped the button, she gave the faintest smile. It was beautiful. "I will call this," Ryan said softly, "the moment a queen became human." Ilari didn't speak, but her face said everything as the stars outside shifted and night came to the palace. Ryan felt something had changed forever, not just in her, but in him too. Each day that passed made the connection between Ryan and Queen Ilari grow stronger. They were no longer just a human and an alien queen. They'd become something more, friends from different worlds, learning to understand each other, Queen. Ilari now called Ryan to the garden every morning. It was their new meeting place, away from the formal rooms and sharp eyes of the royal council. The garden had strange flowers that glowed at night, and trees with silver leaves that whispered. When the wind passed, Ryan found peace there, and so did she. They sat under a wide tree that gave off soft warmth. Ilari was holding Ryan's phone again, flipping through the pictures he had shown her. "This one," she said, pointing at a picture of a child eating ice cream. "Why does this make me feel something? Happy?" Ryan smiled. "Because it reminds you of something simple. Sweet moments, no worries, just joy." Ilari nodded slowly. "We do not celebrate small moments in my culture. Everything is large, planned, and recorded only if it is part of history. But small things matter too," Ryan said. "They become memories we hold close." "Then show me more," she said. "Show me how your people live." Ryan leaned closer and opened a video of a street on Earth with people dancing during a festival. Colors flew in the air, laughter echoed, and music filled the screen. Larry's eyes lit up. "This is beautiful," she said softly. As the video played, she reached out slowly and touched the screen. "Can I visit this place someday?" "Maybe," Ryan said. "But even if not, I can bring Earth to you. Through this." He gently tapped the phone, and she smiled again. Just then, a loud chime echoed through the air. Ilari stood up quickly. "They're calling me," she said. "The council is holding a meeting. They want to talk about changes in palace order." Ryan stood too, "Because of me." She looked at him with calm eyes. "Yes, and also because of me. They do not understand why I choose to spend time with you." "Do you want me to leave?" Ryan asked, worried. "No," she said. "I want you to stay, but things may become difficult." Later that evening, Ryan sat alone in his quarters. He looked at the newest picture of Ilari on his phone, the one where she smiled under the garden light. He thought about how much she had changed since the first day he arrived. How much he had changed. His thoughts were interrupted by a quiet knock. When he opened the door, it was not a servant. It was Queen Ilari. "You came here?" Ryan said, surprised. "Yes." "I wanted to speak with you without ears around us," she said, stepping inside. "They do not approve of my interest in you. They think you are changing me." "Am I?" "Yes," she said. "But I do not see that as wrong." They sat down, both quiet for a moment. Then she said, "In my culture, there is an old story. It speaks of a queen who loses her voice and a traveler from the stars who helps her find it again." Ryan looked at her. That sounds like a legend." "It is," she said. "But lately I wonder if legends are just forgotten truths waiting to happen again." He didn't know what to say. The moment felt deeper than anything before. Then she reached into a small pouch and pulled out a glowing crystal. "This is a memory stone," she said. "We use it to store only one true feeling. Once sealed, It keeps that feeling forever. What feeling is inside this one? Ryan asked. I haven't placed one yet, she said, but I want you to keep it. Ryan blinked. Me, yes. I want you to carry something from my world, just as you've shared yours. He held the stone carefully. It was warm, like her smile. Thank you, he said softly. She stood again, her long dress trailing behind her like waves. I must go now. But soon, things may change. As she left, Ryan knew what she meant, and change came faster than expected. The next day, the council summoned her. The oldest among them, High Elder Kale, spoke with a strong voice. You have allowed a human to grow too close, he said. You risk weakening the throne. Queen Alari stood tall. I have not weakened it. I have learned. And through him, I have remembered something important, how to feel. The hall was silent. The elders looked shocked. We are not ruled by emotion, Kale said firmly. We are guided by logic and order. And look where that has led us, Alari replied. Our people are quiet, cold, and distant. We have forgotten laughter. We have forgotten joy. What are you suggesting? Suggest we begin to remember. Back in his quarters, Ryan didn't know any of this yet, but he could feel the shift in the air. Something big was coming. As he stared at the memory stone in his hand, it suddenly glowed brighter. He didn't know why, but somehow he felt the queen's feeling had been placed inside it. Not fear, not power, but trust. And maybe, just maybe, something more. The next day, the palace felt different. Guards stood more alert. Servants moved quickly, whispering in the halls. The soft music that usually played in the corridors was gone. Something had changed, and everyone could feel it. Ryan sat in the garden, waiting for Queen Alari, but she didn't come. For hours, he sat under the glowing tree, holding the memory stone in his hand. The soft light inside it pulsed gently like it was alive. He kept looking at it, wondering what feeling she had sealed inside. Finally, a familiar voice came from behind. You waited long, Alari said. He turned quickly. You didn't come. I thought something happened. Something did, she said as she sat beside him. The council has ordered me to choose. Either I stop meeting with you, or step down from my throne. Ryan stared at her, shocked. Why would they do that? They fear what they do not understand, she said. They do not understand you or how you've changed me. Look down if I'm causing trouble. Maybe I should leave. No, she said firmly. You must not leave. You brought back something to this palace that has been gone for a long time. What's that? Life. She looked up at the night sky. The twin moons were rising, casting a soft blue glow over the garden. Before you came, everything here moved like a machine, Alari said. We had order, but no joy. Silence, but no peace. She turned to him. You made me remember how to feel, how to laugh, how to smile. I didn't mean to change you, Ryan said softly. But you did, she said, and I am thankful. Sat together in silence for a moment, the stars above shining bright. Then she reached for the memory stone in his hand. May I? She asked. He gave it to her. She placed it between them and closed her eyes. Soft light spread from the stone, forming an image in the air. It was the photo Ryan had taken of her. It's the one where she smiled under the garden light. Ryan stared at the glowing picture floating in the air. How did it do that? He asked. The stone responds to true feelings, Alari said. This image was sealed inside my heart the moment you took it. Now the stone has shown us both. This is beautiful, Ryan whispered. Alari looked at him. I have chosen Ryan. I will not step down, and I will not send you away. But what if the council forces you? And I will remind them that a true leader listens not just to rules, but to truth. Suddenly, loud footsteps came from the path. 2 royal guards entered the garden and bowed. Forgive us, my queen, one of them said. But the council demands your presence now. They say it is urgent. Alari stood calmly. Very well, I will come. She looked at Ryan. Come with me. He stood unsure. Are you sure? Yes. You must see what happens next. Together, They walked through the glowing halls toward the council chamber. The guards didn't stop Ryan, maybe because the queen walked beside him, or maybe because they too had begun to change. Inside the chamber, the elders sat in a circle. High Elder Kale stood in the center. "Queen Alari," he said, "you were warned. The human remains in your presence. This is against our guidance." Ilari stepped forward. "And I have made my choice, so you will step down." "No," she said, "I will not." A quiet gasp moved through the room. Kale frowned. "Then you reject the ancient order?" "I reject the idea that feelings make us weak," she said. "I have learned from this human. He has shown me that to feel is not weakness, it is strength." Kale looked at Ryan. "You speak of change, Queen, but what proof do you have that this human has brought anything of value?" Alari raised her hand. The memory stone floated into the air. It pulsed and then released the glowing image, the photo of her smile. The elder stared. "This is not a weapon," she said. "This is not a law. This is a moment, a true feeling, captured not by power, but by heart." Kale stepped back, his eyes fixed on the image. "We have not seen something like this in centuries." Another elder, a woman, stood. "I remember the stories. Images like this were once common. Before we turned cold," Laurie looked around the room. "I do not wish to rule with fear. I wish to lead with truth. And if that means learning from other worlds, even from a human, then I will." The room was silent then, one by one. The elders stood. Some nodded. Some still looked unsure, but none said no. Kale finally lowered his head. "Perhaps it is time we remember who we once were." Laurie turned to Ryan and smiled. "You may not wear a crown," she said, "but you have changed a kingdom." He smiled back. "Only showed you what was already inside." The queen stepped forward and placed the memory stone in the center of the council room. "Let this be our new beginning. One built not just on order, but on feeling." The stone glowed brighter than ever. Days passed since the queen had stood before the council and shared her choice. Things in the palace slowly began to change. Soft music returned to the halls. Lights were warmer. Even the guards began to smile once in a while, for the first time. In many years, Queen Alari held open court not to announce laws, but to speak with her people. Aliens from different parts of the kingdom came to see her. Some brought gifts, others brought questions, and many just wanted to see the queen who had learned to smile again. Ryan watched from the side of the room. He was no longer seen as just a technician. Now many called him the Queen's Light, the one who reminded her of life. But not all were happy with the changes deep inside the palace. A few elders still whispered in shadows. Some feared the new path. Others thought a human had no place. Near the throne, they met quietly, planning something unknown. Meanwhile, Ryan sat once again in the garden with Queen Alari. He held his phone, and she held a second one, gifted to her by Ryan. She had learned quickly how to use it. Now she took pictures of flowers, the stars, and even the guards when they weren't looking. "You've taken more photos than I ever did," Ryan joked. "Each one feels like a new piece of history," Alari replied. She turned to him. "Oh, may I ask you something personal?" "Of course." "Why do humans keep so many pictures of loved ones?" Ryan looked down, thinking, "Because memories fade, but pictures help us remember how we felt, even when people are far or gone." Laurie nodded slowly. "I wonder, do you think someone will ever keep a picture of me like that?" "They already do," Ryan said with a soft smile. A silence grew between them, not awkward but warm. Then Alari said, "I want to show you something." She stood and guided him to a quiet part of the palace. They passed walls with carvings and soft lights until they reached a door he had never seen before. It opened into a room filled with crystals, floating stones, and glowing orbs. "This is the royal memory vault," she said. "Only queens can enter, and now you." Ryan stepped inside, amazed. The air felt thick with time. Images floated in the air, moving pictures of past queens, old cities, and forgotten stories. "This place holds the memories of my people," Alari said, "but most are locked away unused." "Why?" "Because they show emotion, joy, pain, love. things our ancestors chose to forget. She walked to a large crystal at the center and placed her hand on it. It lit up and played a scene as a child, running through the garden, laughing. Ryan watched, surprised. "That's you?" "Yes." Before the crown, before the silence, the image faded. She turned to him. "I want you to help me bring these memories back. Not just for me, for everyone." "How?" Ryan asked. "You'll teach my people how to see the small things again, how to capture moments, how to remember." "You want me to teach them?" "Photography." Laurie smiled. Among other things, he nodded. "I'll do it." He spent the next days creating something new. A memory hall for everyone, not just royals. Ryan helped design it using human tech and alien light crystals. The Queen gathered pictures taken by the people, laughter, meals, sunrises, and even a baby's first steps. Word spread quickly. Citizens came from far planets just to add their own memory to the growing archive. The palace, once cold and quiet, now buzzed with life. On one special day, the Queen made an announcement. "Today," she said before a crowd, "we open our hearts, not just our gates. Today we begin a new tradition." She held up her phone. "Every queen before me gave orders. Today, I give you a picture." On the large palace screen behind her, an image appeared. It was the photo Ryan had taken. The one with her soft smile in the garden. The people gasped. Not in fear, but in, "Oh," one alien child whispered the Queen. "Looks happy," and many eyes filled with tears. But just as joy returned to the kingdom, danger crept in. That night, Ryan sat in his room, editing some pictures. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The door opened and a dark figure rushed in. He barely moved aside. As something hit the wall behind him, "You shouldn't be here," a deep voice said. Ryan jumped to his feet. "Who are you?" The figure stepped forward. It was an elder in dark robes, his eyes full of anger. "You've weakened her." "Aid her? Forget her duty?" "Made her care." "That's not true," Ryan said, stepping back. "I only helped her remember who she is." "Then you must forget," the elder said, raising a small glowing weapon. Before anything could happen, the door burst open. Queen Alari stood there with 2 guards. Her voice was sharp. "Enough." The elder froze. "My queen." "Not harm him," she said. "Leave this place. Your time is over." The guards took the elder away. Ellery rushed to Ryan. "Are you hurt?" "No," he said, breathing fast. "Just surprised." She helped him up. "I'm sorry. Should have seen this coming." "I'm not afraid," Ryan said. "Not when you're here." They stood in silence for a moment, the memory stone glowing softly on his desk. Ellery looked at him. "Your presence has changed everything. And now I see the truth." "What truth?" he asked. "That maybe," she said slowly. "The legend was never just a story." The palace remained quiet after the attack. Guards doubled their patrols. The council stayed silent. Everyone waited to see what Queen Alari would do next, but the queen wasn't angry. She didn't shout. Instead, she grew calm like the stillness. Before a strong wind, Ryan stayed in the memory hall, looking at the many glowing images floating in the air. Hundreds of pictures taken by the people had filled the space. Children laughing, families hugging, aliens dancing under the stars. The place felt alive. It was no longer just a hall. It was a beating heart. He heard footsteps and turned. Laurie entered quietly. Her face was gentle, but her eyes held deep thoughts. "How are you feeling?" she asked. "Better now," Ryan replied. "Thank you for saving me." "You've saved me many times," she said, walking beside him, not with weapons, but with moments like these. She looked around the memory hall. "You gave my people their smiles back." "I didn't do it alone," Ryan said. "Maybe not," she replied. "But you started it." They walked slowly through the hall. Each image told a story. One photo showed an old alien hugging her son. Another showed 2 alien children covered in paint, laughing. Laurie stopped in front of a picture of herself, a new one Ryan had taken recently. She was laughing with her eyes closed, head tilted toward the light. I never knew I could laugh like that, she said. Ryan smiled. It's one of my favorites. Then her face grew serious. Ryan, do you know about the legend? Of the heart's mirror? No, what is it? It's an ancient tale, she said. From long ago, before the stars knew our name, speaks of a queen who forgets how to feel. Her world turns cold. But one day a traveler from a distant sky shows her a true reflection. Of herself, not through words, but through a mirror of emotion. A mirror of emotion? Ryan asked. Yes, Elari nodded. It said the mirror would not be glass, but something simple. Something that could hold a piece of the heart. Ryan looked at the phone in his hand. You think it's this? Elari gave a soft smile. You showed me who I really am, and I saw it. On your phone. They stood close now. Ryan's heart beat faster. He had come to this world to fix satellites. He had helped fix something no tool could reach. What happens in the legend? He asked. Once the queen sees her true self, Ilari said, she is free to rule not with coldness, but with love. The traveler is not forgotten. He becomes her guide and her equal. Ryan looked into her violet eyes. And do you believe in this legend? Ilari stepped forward. I didn't. Not until now. She reached into her robe and pulled out the memory stone, pulsed with a bright golden light. This is ready, she said. Will you place your feeling inside it too? How? He asked. Just hold it, she said. And think of the moment that changed everything for you. He held the stone between his hands. He thought of that first Datha, a photo of her in the hallway, the question she asked, the way her voice softened over time. He thought of her smile, her laughter, her kindness. The stone glowed brighter. Then it rose from his palms, floating in the air. A new image appeared, a picture of both of them sitting in the garden, laughing side by side. It was blurry, but full of light, full of truth. LRE watched the image with tears in her eyes. It's perfect. A soft bell rang through the halls. It's a signal from the palace balcony. LRE turned to Ryan. It's time, eh? They walked together to the high balcony where all could see them. Below, the people of the kingdom gathered. Millions. From all across the stars had come. The sky above was filled with floating ships. The air was full of hope. Queen Elari stepped forward and spoke. My people, she began, once we forgot how to feel. We lived in silence, believing emotions made us weak, but we were wrong. She raised the glowing memory stone for all to see. This holds not a weapon, not a law, but a memory. A moment of truth, of change. The image of her and Ryan filled. The sky shone by the palace lights. The crowd gasped softly. This human came here to help fix machines, but he ended up fixing something greater. He helped me remember who I am. And now, I ask all of you, do not fear joy. Do not fear change. Remember your smiles. Remember your hearts. The crowd slowly began to cheer, soft at first, then louder. Claps, songs, waves of sound spread across the space. Something old and powerful was waking up in them. Elari turned to Ryan. You will not leave this place. Will you? Not unless you want me to, he said. Never, she whispered, then in front of the stars and the crowd. She placed the memory stone into the center of the royal crest. It would remain there forever, a new symbol of unity. That night, the sky sparkled brighter than ever before, and deep in the palace, in a quiet room. A small screen on a simple phone showed a smiling queen, one who once asked, Is that me on your phone? And found far more than just an image. She found herself, and someone who saw her truly.